Hey, this is Pierre Villacco talking. I was discussing with a customer the other day where the customer was complaining about the culture and they didn't understand why the culture was blocking collaboration. And so let me describe the culture I often see and I call the old world of collaboration and how you can rethink how you manage this culture. So the first thing we see very often is the culture of collaboration is a sum of individual tasks where people, are going to send email in a serial way where things people have to do things after another. That's typical in a lot of organization, and it definitely has a back. You know, there are a lot of issues with that culture because it creates silos in a Outlook centric culture. Everybody is in his silo actually, and so those tasks and subtasks are assigned to people. So each one has a role, and they only think about their role, and they don't do anything else. They don't see the big picture. The work then is individual within a project. So I think about my task. I don't think about the overall task and project or purpose. Information is often the power. If you have information, you have the power. So for some people, people might not want to share their knowledge because that's their power. The expertise is I'm the expert. I have the solution. I'm the solution. I'm the solution. So people in the old collaborative world try to develop their skills and to be better because then they will have more power. They will be, they think they will be untouchable because they have so much knowledge. And that's the old notion of expert to me. The other thing is when you fail, and by the way, I think failing is part of the any process of learning. It's the best way to learn actually. And so when somebody fails, we try to find who's guilty, or if there's a failure, who is guilty, and we try to put the blame on the person. That's an old collaboration way of doing things, and it's still there in a lot of organizations. And people focus on personal goals. They have a job description. I do what's in my job description, and it's very process oriented. So we follow some rules, and it can be valuable. I'm not saying it's totally invaluable, but it's really limited. So when you look at the new world, I see the culture cha- changing in a more efficient way. So it's not anymore a sum of individual tasks, but it's a sum of collective energies. You want to bring everybody, interconnect everybody with their energies, identify where the energies are, and rely on strengths rather than try to decrease the weaknesses. Try to have a growth mindset, develop strengths in people. Tasks are constantly revised and revisited, and they collectively assigned. So it's better to collectively assign tasks. So if somebody is more inclined to do a task at one point because he has the time, then he takes the task. He takes the ownership of the task rather than just having a person doing a task. Sometimes you need to have one person to do a task, but if you at least if you share this with all the team, it's going to be better. Work is collective with one goal. It's not an individual within a project. It's collective with one goal. So people need to understand the overall goal of your project or the thing you're doing, and understand the global purpose and work for this global purpose. Because sometimes if you only think about your task might not be always connected to the global purpose, and so you might be reluctant. But if you understand that it contributes to the global purpose, then you're more willing to collaborate and also help each other. Information should be transparent. Email is not transparent. It's siloed. Put it in Teams, for example, or Yammer. Put it in somewhere where everybody has done by who and how. Information is transparency is really a key thing in collaboration. Um, People discuss all the time. They don't just. I forgot about to talk about people meet on milestones for the old world. It's awesome, awesome. It's surprising to me that people only meet to on certain milestones to discuss, what has been done. And to me, you should meet just to make decision. Um, and sometimes you need to meet to inform people, but it's better to meet and okay to make decisions. But what do you do the rest of the time? Do you have to wait to meet to change direction, change, be sure that things are going well and be sure things are done? So it's better to discuss all the time. So it's not through meetings. Discussion is does don't happen just in a meeting. It also happens all the time with Teams is a good vehicle for that. The expertise for me is not people who have the solution, is people who can find the solution. So that's a real expertise, more and more uh, important expertise, rather than just having the knowledge to do things. It's because if you don't know how to do things, you're gonna spend hours to find to try to solve something, and you don't might not have the skills for that, or it might take hours when maybe your neighbor, your coworker have the solution in 5 minutes. So it's a mix of leveraging your own skills, but also work with others and find the solution and try to gather all the forces to build a solution and find a solution. It's not just one person who has a solution with the complex world we're living in, constantly evolving world. So you have to find solution, and for that you need to be connected for sure. Failure is what help you to learn. We don't try to find who's guilty. It's normal to fail. I will say in general, if people are not failing, it's not a good sign because it means that they're probably not learning. Experience is based on failing and learning from it. And people should be focused on the common goal. That's really key. You need to have a common goal. And sometimes it's bigger than you. Sometimes it's bigger than your team. Sometimes it's a global goal at the level of your organization. But having a common goal, understanding the common goal, sharing what is the common goal, eventually discuss the common goal. Sometimes you may adjust the common goal, but that's what drives collaboration. That's what drives how people are working together. They should understand the common goals they're trying to pursue. This is really key, and that's why you also need transparency. And finally, it's all about connecting with people. It's not just following processes. Processes can help to give some structure. It's important to have some. But if you forget the main dimension of our job, which are people, and definitely it's the most complex object in a in a digital workplace. It's not the tools, it's not the technology, it's the people. So it's really important to connect with those people, understand who they are, understand what they're trying to achieve in their life, and connect it to the global goal that you're pursuing, and try to identify the strengths of people so you can adjust who can help where, and make those connections so people are willing to help each other. So that's my take on what is the path to change the way you collaborate, the culture of collaboration. It's not really about the tools. Tools are important. You can have best practice to explain how to use the tools, but it's mostly about changing some behaviors. And it takes time. It takes tenacity. It takes vision. It takes incarnation by the management. Hope this was insightful.